Hey, what's up everybody, it's Bald Guy Ace and welcome to another guide on Hypixel Skyblock. This guide is going to be about how to build a Magma AFK farm. I'm especially excited about this guide because a Magma farm is currently the best way to make money using your minions while AFKing on your island. By the way guys, this is not a clickbait video. I actually calculated that I could gain around 1.8 million coins per day from my minions by just AFKing this farm. That is over twice what I was getting from the ghast farm, so it's pretty amazing that this makes over twice what my other farm made. I want to give a big shout out to Golden Dusk, whose Magma farm design is the one that I used to create this step-by-step video. By the way guys, as always, if you find this video useful, it would be super awesome if you could leave me a like as well as a comment below. And if you're not already subscribed to me, it would be really great if you could hit that subscribe button, that way you can find out when I post my future guides on Hypixel. This Magma farm is actually super easy to build. All you have to use is glass, soul sand, wood planks, hoppers, and water buckets to build this. And it's super quick, and I'm going to go through it step by step so that you guys can have your own AFK Magma farm and start making tons of coins. So let's get right into it. First, just a quick overview of how this farm works. So you have this farm surrounded by glass. You actually don't have to use glass. You can use stone, but glass just looks like super cool, so that's what I decided to use. And what you do is you have the minions on both sides here. You have minions over here and minions over there. Each side can fit up to 10 minions. So then the minions spawn the magma cubes, and the magma cubes then land on this soul sand, and the soul sand slows them down. And the reason for that is because the magma cubes start out only having 25 HP, and you want them to grow to eventually hit 100 HP before they fall into this pool of water. Because once they fall into the pool of water, they're going to start to drown, and so we want them to be as big as possible before they drown, because when they're bigger, they drop more magma cream for us to pick up. As you can see here, there's actually a ton of magma cubes in here that are all drowning. So after the magma cubes die, the magma cream actually goes into the hoppers, and then from the hoppers, in my particular farm, it goes then into my chest system down here. You can choose to set up your chest system however you like. So I'm going to get right into the steps of how to build this farm. So for the example of this video, I'm actually going to build another copy of this farm right next door just so that you guys can see me do it step by step. You don't actually need the stone here. This is just there to provide some space between the two farms. So step one is to build the border walls for the top section of the farm. The dimensions on the inside of the farm are 19 by 9. I would highly recommend building double thick walls to prevent the magma cubes from glitching out and going through the walls. So that means that the total size of the outer border walls should be 23 by 13. Then the height of the walls on the inside are 5 blocks high. So we actually want to build the height of the farm 7 blocks high to make way for the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and build the border walls right now. We're going to start right here, and we're going to build 23 blocks long. So here we go. And then we're going to build 13 blocks wide. So here we go. And then we just have to finish up the rectangle here. Okay, so now we have the outer border finished. So now we're going to build up the height of the farm, which should be 7 high to make way for double thick floors. And so here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to go ahead and build 7 up on each of these so that it makes it easy to go around. All right, now that we have the 4 corners built up, I'm just going to go around and fill in all of the glass for the outer borders. So here we go. All right, now that I have the outer borders of glass totally built, so as I mentioned before, we want double thick walls to prevent the magma from glitching through the walls. So I'm just going to build a block all around the edges right next to this current border that I just built. And so we're just going to start here, and I'm just going to fly all the way around and do this 7 more times until I get the entire second wall built. And then I'll get right back to you guys. By the way, guys, in the middle of placing all those glass, I realized that I should probably go to the default texture pack just to make the building a lot easier to do. And so that's what I'm going to do for just the rest of building out this glass. So that way, even though it looks a lot cooler with the other texture pack, I want you guys to actually be able to see what I'm doing. And that other glass looks so clear that it's just kind of hard to see what I'm doing. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to actually use the regular default texture pack for glass. And so let's continue on building the second wall. So here we go. Alrighty, guys. So as you see here, I have a double thick layer of glass surrounding the borders of this entire magma farm that's going to be here. And so these borders, once again, are 23 long as I walk down this way and 13 wide as I go this way. that leaves room for the inside to actually be 19 long and 9 wide. So now that the borders are done, that brings us to step 2. So for step 2, we want to build the floor and the ceiling for the minions. I actually built this height so that there would actually be room for a double floor. The same reason why there's double walls, because we don't want the magma cubes to glitch out through the walls or the floor. So we actually want to build the floor 1 level up, assuming that you followed my plan and built this 7 blocks high. We want to actually skip a block. We're going to build the floor under that afterwards. And we want to actually start here and build the floor. The floor is actually going to be 2 rows of glass right here. And this is in the inside, so this is actually 9 long. And then 9 long here. And then we want to notch out the area where the 10 minions or up to 10 minions would be. You don't actually have to use all 10. And so we would do that here. So you'd skip 2 spaces here, and then you'd build 5 things of glass right here, and then another 5 things of glass right here. So this is where you're going to actually place the minions. And now you want to surround all of this glass with soul sand. And as I said before, the soul sand is there to slow down the magma cubes so that they can grow. So what you want to do is build a 2x2 thing of soul sand there, a 2x2 thing of soul sand right here, and then you want to go out another 3 rows of soul sand here. So now we just finished the floor for one side of the farm. This will fit up to 10 minions, but we want to actually build the floor on the other side of the farm. The middle is where the pool is going to be to kill the magmas, but for now we're going to build the second side of the floor for the minions. So we'll just go over here and do the exact same thing as before because it's symmetrical. Alrighty, so as you see here, we just finished our second floor. So now we have the floors for both sets of minions set up. By the way, one thing I actually forgot to do, so now as you see here, we just skipped, you're seeing ahead a little bit in the video, but one of the things you want to do while you're building the floor is after you build the 2 floors for the minions, you want to go underneath and you want to build that second layer as we talked about so that the magma cubes don't glitch out and go through the floor. When you're building this, you won't have to worry about this wood being in your way, but you want to just basically build glass underneath both of these floors, still leaving space in the middle for where the pool is going to be. So I'm just going to do that now. And then again, the same thing on the other side. And so now you have the second layer of floor placed. And so now what you can do is you can come up here and you can build the ceiling. I'm not even sure if the ceiling is totally necessary, but the magma do jump. And so what I've seen done is a ceiling built over the pool. And so I'm going to build that actually 4 blocks high instead of 5. And so we're going to just build it right here, 5 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then all the way out to the other side. So now that the floor and the ceiling are built, that brings us to step 3. So even though the inside of the pool is actually 5 by 9, the outer borders of the pool, because we want double thick walls, should actually be 9 by 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to go 2 over and 2 out from where the inside of the pool is. And we're going to start right there. And then I'm going to go over 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can see here, you're 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And then the same thing going across. So instead of 9, which is the middle, we actually want it to be 13. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And as you see, it took us all the way over to the second border here. And then we do the same thing for the other 2 sides. So now you have the outer edges of the pool. So the pool itself is going to actually be 4 blocks deep of water, and then the floor is going to actually be made out of hoppers. And so right now we're just concerned with building the outer edges without the floor. And so we're going to go down 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just have to go around and build this out. And then I'm going to actually build this 2 walls thick. So this area here will also end up being walls. I'm just going to build this down another 4 also so that I know that these are the 2 areas where I'm going to build the walls around. So now I'm just going to fly around here in a rectangle and I'm just going to build these 2 layers of walls. So here we go. All right, now for this second border wall, here we go. Okay, as you see here, we now have double thick pool borders, and the inside of the pool is all set here, and which is ready to be made, which is 5 by 9. So this brings us to step 4, which is to build your hopper system. You can choose to build your hopper system however you like, but the key thing is that the floor of the pool has to be all hoppers. That way you end up actually picking up all of the magma cream that falls from the magma cubes. And so a trick I like to use to place the hoppers very easily is to place stone, or you can do cobble or anything like that, right below where you're actually going to place these hoppers. So I leave one block of space because that's where the hoppers are actually going to be placed. And then I'm going to go and build a 5x9 area of stone. This is purely made just so that I can actually place the hoppers on something, and it makes it just easier to build. So I'm just going to place this down and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, so now that we have this little stone area built so that it makes it easier for us to place our hoppers, I can actually take my hoppers here and actually go through and place all of the hoppers on this floor. It's a 9x5 area, and so that means that you will need to place 45 hoppers. You'll actually need more if you want to set up an actual hopper system, but for the floor, at the very least, you're going to need 45 hoppers. So I'm going to place those now, and I'll get right back to you. You can choose to place your hoppers however you like if you have a particular way that you want to use your hopper system. But for my hopper system, I chose to have all of my hoppers on the floor actually pointed downward, and then they go into additional hoppers, which then move to other areas. So I'd usually recommend pointing your hoppers downward, and you can do that by just right-clicking on the stone like that, and it'll actually point downward, as you can see right there. You have to make sure that if you do want it to go down, that you actually click on the stone and not on any kind of other wall, because they might point in a different direction. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to right-click on all this stone. Make sure when you're placing the next row that you don't click on the hopper itself, because then your hopper will actually take the magma and just go into this hopper here. What you want to do is you want it to point downward into whatever your system is going to be. You want to make sure you're always right-clicking on the stone and not on other hoppers. Alrighty, so as you see here, I placed my 45 hoppers down, and now this acts as an entire floor for the pool. So as you see, it totally covers everything. I can walk around here. I don't have to worry about falling off. And so we have the floor to the pool now finished. And now that you have the floor of hoppers finished, you can actually come back around here, and you can get rid of this stone wall here that you built. You don't need this. It was purely made just so that you can click the hoppers easier. You don't even really need it to begin with if it's easier for you to do it a different way, but it just helps me to build that out, so I like to do that. All right, so as you see here, now that I got rid of the stone blocks, all of these hoppers are pointed downward, and so they can either go into more hoppers, which then go somewhere else, or they can go into a chest system. I actually have both on my island, but for this magma farm, I actually have these hoppers, as you see here, pointed down into more hoppers, and then these hoppers go over here, and they go into my already existing chest system. That's simply because I didn't want to rebuild my chest system over here. Otherwise, you could probably just have the hoppers going straight down into a chest system that's right here. There's various ways that you can choose to build a hopper chest system. As you see over here for my ghast farm, I actually built them straight down like this. You can do that as well. So it's really up to you what you want to do. But as you see here, I built this long contraption of chests, which goes down here. And this actually fits a ton of magma cream in it. If I go here, you can see they're already filling up. All these double chests are filled with magma cream. I'm going to have to go through later and actually collect them. And so, yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, for this demo, I'm not going to rebuild the hopper system again. I might do a separate tutorial video on specifically building a hopper chest system. But for now, you can choose to build that however you'd like. And after the hopper system is done being built, that brings us to step 5. Step 5 is to actually place the water inside of the pool. So I'm actually going to use the same trick that I used to place the hoppers in order to place the water. And so I'm just going to do it in reverse. So I'm going to actually place the stone above where we want the water to go. So I'm going to actually do this and surround myself with stone. And this is going to take 45 stone because I'm surrounding the entire 9x5 area with stone, the same way I did it for the hoppers, but upside down. All right, so now that we're surrounded with stone above us, we can start to place the water. I'm going to actually use my trade window because I have it available as a trade, but you could go to the NPC and buy a bunch of water buckets and fill your inventory with them. I'm going to actually buy them as I need them. I only need water to flow from the top down. So what I need is 45 water buckets. In order to keep track of each row of water that you're placing, I generally try to just put like 5 buckets on the bottom, since I know that each row is going to be 5 buckets of water. Then after they're placed, I put another 5 down. That way I know that I'm on another row, and that if some of these water didn't disappear, that I didn't actually place all the water for that row. So in order to place it, now that you have the stone there, you just have to click on the stone. Make sure you're not clicking anywhere else. Click on the stone for each area that you want to place it. So I'm going to do 1, Then I'm going to the next water bucket, and I'm going to do 2. Then I'm going to go to the next water bucket and do 3, then 4, then 5. As you see, this water is actually causing me to float away, so I'm going to actually use my magical mushroom soup and actually fly up just a tiny bit, because that prevents the water from pushing me away. So now that I finished that row, I'm going to actually go to the next row, just do the same exact thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do this all the way down until you get to the end. If you go ahead of me, just keep in mind that when you get to the very end, you're going to be surrounded by water. So you want to be able to quickly break one of the stone blocks and then jump out of there, because otherwise you're going to drown. So just to keep that in mind. But for now, I'm going to finish up placing all of the layers of water here, and then I'll get back to you when we get to the end of it. So we're now 1 row and 1 block left of water, but keep in mind that as soon as I place this end of the second to last row here, even though there's still 1 more row of water to place, I'm actually going to start drowning. So I want to be able to place these last 5 pretty quickly. What you might want to do if you don't think you're going to be able to place them fast enough is you can go down to the other end and actually already start to break the stone, because we don't need this stone down here anymore. And then you can come back here, and if you start running out of breath, you can run down there and actually get out pretty quickly to catch your breath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place this water here, and as you see, it's now surrounding me. But before I start to drown, I'm going to quickly try to take these last 5 water buckets and go through here and see if I can do it before I start drowning. Can we make it? 1 more left. Yes, we made it. All right. As you see, I still didn't start drowning, but I'm about to start drowning. So I got to get ready to get out of here. Oh, wait, no, I am drowning. So I'm going to escape. All right, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, it helps to have that already broken so that you can escape pretty fast. And so just like we did before with the hoppers, now that you have all the water placed in the pool, I can now break this stone, because the stone was only there to help me out. All right, so look at that. Now that the stone is broke, we have a nice little pool here full of water, ready for the magma cubes to fall into. And so that brings us to step 6. Step 6 is to place the flowing water. So what we want to do here is we want to go to the very back of the floor for the minions. And on each side, we want to start at the end and go on each block here, just in the back, and place 1 thing of water. So I'm going to go through here and just place 9 things of water. Then I'm going to fly to the other end and place the 9 things of water there. But here we go. As you see, now that I placed all 9, the water's flowing straight back, and that's what we want, because that's going to push the magma cubes over the soul sand, and then they're going to fall into this pool, and then they're going to drown, and that's how you get the magma cream. We're going to go over here to the other side and do the exact same thing. And so here we go. All right, so look at that. We placed the flowing water on both sides, and now we are almost done with our farm. That just brings us to one last step, which is step 7. Step 7 is to place the minions. Now, one thing you'll notice is that you can't actually place minions if there's water flowing already. So we want to temporarily stop the water from flowing right where the minions are going to be placed. So what I like to do is build around like this with stone. You can use anything really, as long as you can break it quickly after you place the minions. But I'm just going to build a little area right around like this. That causes the water up, 1 more block actually on each side there. This causes the water to totally dry up right around where we're going to place the minions. And the reason why, you might say, well, why don't you just place the water afterwards? The reason why is because the water actually takes a little bit of time to place. And as soon as you start placing these minions, they're going to start spawning magma cubes. And the magma cubes are going to start attacking you. And it makes it super annoying to place the water if you're getting attacked. So I found that the easiest way to do this is to place all the water already. Then place these stone around in a U shape like this. Then place however many minions you have. If you have 10 minions you want to place on this side, you can do that. But if you have less, you can place less. And then as soon as you're done placing the minions, because you don't want to wait that long because they're going to start spawning the magma cubes. As soon as you're done placing them, you want to just run around here and break this stone or whatever objects you placed to prevent the water from going. As soon as you break it, the water will then go back into flowing again, and all the magma cubes that got spawned will get immediately taken into the pool and they will die. I feel like that's the easiest way to do that. And then you just come over here and do the exact same thing again. I'll just show you again in case you didn't see it the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just go all the way around like this. And then you just do that. You want to make sure that you don't put any stones or anything over here, because this is where the source of the water flow is. And if you do that, you'll ruin it and you'll have to replace the water source again. And so you just want to go around like this, just around where the water's flowing, but not actually in the water source itself. So as you see, you do that. And then when you're done, you just quickly go around again, you break it, and the water starts flowing again. I'm not actually placing the minions because I don't want to have to pick them up from where they are right now. But as you see over here, this is an exact copy of what I just built. And I have my minions placed here. And as you see, I placed them, I broke the stone, and then all of the water is flowing. So they spawn the magma cubes then get stuck in the water. They go over the soul sand where they get slowed down just in time for them to grow to 100 HP. They then fall into the pool of water. And then in the pool of water, they actually drown. And then the magma cream goes into the hoppers, and then you collect it and you sell it and you make tons of coins. Alright guys, so if you followed my guide step by step, you should have your very own functioning magma cube farm. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. If you found this video useful, it'd be great if you could leave me a like. And if you want to see future guides from me, it would be super awesome if you could hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. If you guys have success with this method and you end up making tons of coins, please leave me a comment below so that way I know that my video helped you out. Alrighty guys, I'm going to end the video here, but thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys get to making millions and millions of coins every day. And until my next video, I'm Bald Guy Ace, reminding you to embrace the baldness.